video, I am going to make a plea with you that you stop hiding already. Like, stop holding yourself back from expressing yourself fully and freely just because you think you're too weird, or there's something odd about you, or your purpose, or your message, or your work, or nobody is gonna get it. You're the odd one out, nobody's gonna get it, yada, yada, yada. And in this video, I'm gonna do a couple things. First of all, I'm gonna prove to you that it's bullshit. And there's no better way to say it. It's BS. You know, you think that you're not going to resonate with anyone. I'm going to show you with some numbers how no matter how unique, let's say, and strange you think you are and your work is and your message is, there is a market for it. There's a market that has been waiting for it, and I'm going to show you how. The second thing I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk about why you shouldn't lie about who you really are, why you shouldn't try to change who you are just to fit in or to be more commercially viable, if you will, as a brand, or to please the algorithm. How that's a silly strategy, even financially, and you're shooting yourself in the foot. And then the third thing I want to talk about today is how do I even know what's my authentic expression? How do I know if I'm being myself or not being myself? Now, these are huge topics that there's no way I'm going to cover in just a few minutes, but I'm going to try and give the gist of what I can share with you today. First things first, let's talk about numbers. So I made a video not last year, in 2022 called How to Sell Without Being Slimy or Sleazy, something like that. And in it, I did the math on what would happen if you resonated with 1% of 1% of the internet. And it left me with, I think at the time it was like 50,000 clients that you could have. And if you're selling even if you're selling not high ticket, even if you're selling cheaper products and services, 50,000 clients are more than enough. If you please them and you give them a good product or service, 50,000 customers is more than enough to sustain a really solid business. But I did the math again just this morning, actually, and I'm not the only person who thought of this, by the way. Tons of people have worked with these numbers or played with these numbers a few times. But today I was like, I'm going to be even more conservative. I'm going to say at 1% of 1% of 1 billion people, not 5 or 6 billion people on the internet, but let's just say you're, a fifth of the potential on the internet, and you resonate not just with 1%, but 1% of 1%. That means out of 10,000 people, only one person likes you, okay? You're so fucking odd and unlikable. Let's just say you're so unlikable, all right? 1% of 1% of people, 1 out of 10,000 people like you. If you only target 1 billion people on the internet, which is quite big, of course, we know that that's not an easy feat in marketing, especially if you're doing organic. But I just want to give you an idea, okay? If you did that, you'd still end up with 100,000 people, 100,000 customers. And if you only sold them a $50 product, we're not talking about high ticket, we're not talking about tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, thousands, or even hundreds, just $50. Just once, that's already a $5 million business. Okay, so I just want you to understand the potential here that even if you think you are so different and your message is so like niche and weird and like what unicorn is going to understand me and understand my message and understand my purpose and understand my work and appreciate it and love it, even if that was the case, you will still resonate with a certain type of person out there. And you still have potential, not just potential, but near certainty that if you do that well enough, you're going to have a very successful business financially, that is. So give up on this idea, this fear of like, if I don't resonate with more people, if I don't resonate with a big enough chunk of the market, I'm not going to have a sustainable business financially, is a silly idea, okay? So now we're going to talk about why you shouldn't do this anyway. Like, why is this, what's wrong with tweaking our message a little bit and changing the essence of the brand and who we are so we can resonate with an even bigger number of people. Nothing wrong with it, but if you know anything about what I talk about in my work, it's not just about building a business and a brand, it's about building a brand of full self-expression. Because the whole point is for you to be genuinely, truly free, to express yourself freely, to have a good time, to do things that make you feel alive, to express what you came here to express on this planet. It's not just about making more money. That being said, here's what happens if you change the essence of your message. Let's say, and I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? As I'm making these videos every single day on this 30-day challenge, what's happening for me is I am like, oh my God, like the marketer in me is like, oh my God, I know that the algorithm doesn't like this. And it's evident. Like my impressions on LinkedIn, for example, went from thousands to sometimes I'll get like a couple hundred impressions on a post. Not that I ever had like viral posts or anything, but I used to get a lot more. Like when I put a hook and I put some intention into the marketing of the thing and I tweak it a little bit. But I was like, this month, this 30-day challenge, it's gonna be genuinely just me on a fucking camera, just saying what I want to say, the truth of the message, no marketing. I'm talking to you like you're my friend, right? Like this is purely from the heart. This is how I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it every day by 9 a.m. There's gonna be a video out there. What will happen? And I'm witnessing and I'm looking at the conversations happening in my head. They're like, Aliana, but you could make the videos a little bit shorter. LinkedIn doesn't like videos that are more than like a minute or 2 or 3 long. Oh, YouTube doesn't like videos that don't have a thumbnail on them where you're like, all these things that are popping up for me, but I'm like, no, 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 no. And here's the thing. Let's say you were like, okay, I will change all of these things because I want to resonate with more people. I want the algorithm to pick me up and show me to more people. I want to have more successful content. Okay, you've built an audience. Great, right? Your true desire is to have longer videos to say what you need to say, but you're like, chop, 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 let's just say it in 3 minutes. Great, you attract a bunch of people around you. Now you have a big audience, and now you're like, okay, well, that I am quote unquote successful. Now I'm going to allow myself to express myself freely. Now I want to have these longer videos. Guess what's going to happen? People are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is not what I signed up for. What happened? You used to make these very quick videos that have like sound effects and cuts and things like that. And now your energy is completely different and you're sitting here in like a lotus pose and you want to talk to me for 3 hours straight. I'm not available for that. And so you create a prison for yourself because you pretended to be someone that you are not in order to resonate with more people. And now you're like, shit, Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't change anything at all. If you know what I talk about all the time, which is knowing what are your non-negotiables, like for me, it's not a big deal if I have to make a short video, I'll make a short video. Like that doesn't change who I am. And yes, I want to work on making my videos more succinct. But I want to do these things because I want to do these things. I want to make the video succinct because I want to improve my communication, not because the freaking algorithm likes it or because people like it, but because I sincerely believe that that's good for me, so I will train that. So you have to figure out for yourself what is yours and what is not. And that brings me to the third point. How do I even know what is my authentic expression? And look, this is a lifetime of work. This is something you figure out over a lifetime, but I'm going to give you a hint. I usually like to ask the question, does it make you feel alive? But yesterday, it occurred to me that actually there's an even better question. Does it make you feel dead if you remove the thing? So of course, doing certain things makes us feel alive, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we must keep it. It's like nice to have. But one sign that cannot go wrong is that if you remove part of your expression, if you take a part of your expression out of the equation and you feel like your energy just goes down and you're no longer interested in talking about this topic, there's something wrong there. That is something that is supposed to be there in your authentic expression. For example, for me, it's allowing myself to be as, I don't know what the word is, lame, cringy, weird as I need to be, as not giving a shit, saying what I need to say in whatever language, not giving a fuck how it lands for anybody. For me, that is, if I remove that, if I were to change how I say certain things so that people are like, oh yeah, now it makes more sense. If I were to try to take that out of the equation or try to be more, I don't know, I'm not going to try to bother, but you can test this in your own expression. If there is a component of the message or the way you say the message, the way you deliver the message that you try to change and you feel that aliveness within you is being sucked out of you, that is a sign that expression is meant to be there. Do not take it out because it is part of the energy signature of the message and of who you are as the vessel who is carrying this message. Those are the points as far as I can see. Those are the 3 points. Yes, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. By the way, I'll put a link somewhere wherever you're watching this. Go check it out. Some exercises to help you figure out what makes you feel more alive. And I'll see you soon. Bye.